And now, the adventures of Superman. On the morning following his rescue from the sea by Superman, cub reporter Jimmy Olsen was writing the story about the operations of the gang of black marketeers when a wooden box about 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, and a foot deep, and perforated with small holes, was delivered to him at the Daily Planet. Jimmy and Beanie Martin, the Planet's copy boy, opened the box, which had been placed on the desk in Clark Kent's office, and then gasped in surprise. For lying in the box, snoring gently in sleep, was a tiny man. As they gazed in speechless amazement, they saw a miniature man scarcely 3 feet tall, clothed in a bright green frock coat, striped trousers, and patent leather shoes. His hair soft and yellow as a baby's, and his nose with a slight sidewise tilt, set over a firm mouth and a square, stubborn chin. As Jimmy and Beanie stared, the midget yawned, rubbed his eyes with miniature fists, then suddenly opened bright blue eyes. And seeing Jimmy and Beanie, he leaped to his feet in alarm.
Good heavens, where am I? Well, who are you?
Oh, my gosh.
Why, this is the Metropolis Daily Planet.
The what?
The Daily Planet, a newspaper. I'm Jim Olsen.
My name is
Jim Olsen? Did you say you're Jim Olsen?
That's right.
Oh,
But who...
thank Mercury, thank Venus, thank Mars, thanks everybody.
Listen, what are you...
Oh, I was never so relieved in all my born days. You know, for a moment, I thought the boot might have caught me.
The what?
The boot. Oh, a terrible man, a most horrible man. But perhaps I gave him the slip this time. Oh, I do hope so. Oh, I say, Jim, old chap, help me out of this box, won't you?
Oh, sure. There you are.
Don't step on Mr. Kent's papers.
Mr. Kent? Who's Mr. Kent?
This is his office. He's a reporter on this paper.
Oh, jumping jelly beans, I'm stiff. It was quite uncomfortable in that box, you know.
Yeah, I'll bet. Now, look, Mr...
Frederick is the name. Frederick the Great.
Huh?
What?
But you might call me Freddie if you like.
Oh, thanks. Will you please tell me how and why you came here in a box addressed to me?
Of course, boy, of course. You see, your cousin and your aunt said that you could be trusted. Also, as a reporter in a large newspaper, you might be able to help me.
You say my cousin and my aunt sent you to me?
Correct. Your cousin Ginger and your Aunt Louise. Charming creatures, both of them. Charming.
Hey, aren't they
but-
the ones who own a traveling circus, Jim?
Yes, Beanie. Look, Freddie, I don't get this.
Oh, I'm perfectly willing to explain everything, Jim, but only to you.
Huh?
Would you mind taking a stroll, old chap?
Oh, gee whiz.
Go on, go walk your poodle. That's a good fellow.
Go on, Beanie, beat it.
Gosh, gee whiz.
Tell him to keep me under his hat, Jim, no matter what.
Under his hat?
You know, tell him to forget he ever saw me.
Oh, Beanie.
Yeah?
Don't tell anybody about Freddie. Not anybody.
Okay.
Hello, Beanie. You looking for me?
Why, no, Mr. Kent,
Oh, jumping jelly beans. I'll clear the decks out of my way.
Relax, Freddie. It's only Mr. Kent.
Keep him away.
Can't go into my own office.
No, you see-
Out of the way, Beanie. What's going on here, Jim?
Oh, well, you see,
What's the matter with you? And what's that wooden box on my... Great Scott, there's a little man in it.
That's right. Mr. Kent won't hurt you, Freddie. He's my best friend.
He's your best friend? you
Sure,
say?
and if you need help, like you say, he'll be glad to help you, won't you, Mr. Kent?
Oh, of course I will.
Good,
but
good.
who in the
My
world...
professional name, sir, is Frederick the Great. You must have heard of me.
Well,
You see,
I...
before the war, when I traveled all over the world with the All England and British Commonwealth Circus, I was billed as Frederick the Great, the smallest man in the world. And if I say so myself, I was a great attraction.
I'm sure you were, but how did you come here?
The express company delivered him in this box, Mr. Kent.
What?
Yeah, my cousin Ginger and Aunt Louise, you know, they own a little circus. They sent him to me.
Sent him to you?
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Freddie's in some kind of trouble. He said somebody's after him.
Oh, yes, it's a problem of world-shattering importance, Mr. Kent. World-shattering. Tell me, have you ever heard of Robert Archer?
Robert Archer? No, I don't think so.
Well, neither have I.
Oh, dear, that's bad. But I must find him, and at once. I must.
Why? Who is this Robert Archer, Freddie?
He was once my late master's assistant. That's all I know. But I must find him before the 1st of February. If I don't, something terrible will happen to the whole world.
Oh, now,
What do
look.
you mean, Freddie?
Oh, it's true. My late master told me so. He said I must find Robert Archer before the 1st of February so that Mr. Archer could stop, whatever it is that is going to happen. Now, there isn't much time. Oh, dear, what do I do?
Oh, boy.
Well, who is this master you're talking about, Freddie?
Well, the late Sir Hubert Clay.
You mean the great mathematician and physicist who died about a year ago?
Precisely, except that he didn't just die. He was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes, the boot did it while trying to get Sir Hubert to tell him the secret.
Well, who is the boot?
And what's the secret?
Oh, the boot is a terrible man, a horrible man, who's been chasing me all over the world because now that he's killed my master, he wants to get the secret from me, you see?
You mean you know what the secret is?
Yes. No. Oh, I don't know.
Huh? Oh, now, look.
Wait,
what?
Jim, wait. You say you don't know what the secret is, but it affects the future of the world?
Yes, indeed, of the entire world. That's what Sir Hubert said. And he told me something terrible, something utterly, utterly terrible would happen unless I found Robert Archer before February 1st.
Well, does that mean Robert Archer knows the secret, too?
Oh, not at all. But he'll know what to do to prevent this terrible thing from happening when he does know.
When he knows what?
The secret, of course.
How is he going to find out if Sir Hubert is dead?
He'll find out from me.
Now, wait a minute. You said you didn't know it.
Well, no. Or do I? Oh, at least I don't think I do. As a matter of fact, I'm quite sure I do.
Oh, boy.
You mean, Freddie, that Sir Hubert Clay gave you some memorandum or a letter or something for Robert Archer?
Oh, just a message. He made me memorize it. Did you want to hear it?
Yes, I'd like to.
All right, here it is. X is to Freddy as Y is to Sari. The equation equals the first day of February. In the name of heaven, act quickly.
What kind of double talk is that?
What does it mean?
Oh, I don't know, but
X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari. Who or what is Sari? Do you know that?
No, but Robert Archer will. Sir Hubert said so, and with his last breath begged me to find him.
Did Sir Hubert say where Mr. Archer is?
Oh, he didn't know. But about 2 months ago, in Budapest, I discovered that Robert Archer was here in the States.
Well, the United States is pretty large. Did you find out what part of the country he's in?
Oh, no. All I could learn is that he's here.
Oh, that's pretty slim.
Look, if you ask me, it's all a lot of malarkey. There probably isn't any Robert Archer at all.
Oh, but I tell you
Come
that...
on, Jim. There is a Robert Archer, all right.
Huh?
What's that, Beanie?
Well, I was listening outside the door, Mr. Kent, and I heard
Well, that's
you.
a fine thing to
Wait
do.
a minute, Jim. Wait. You said something about Robert Archer, Beanie. What do you know about him?
Well, I know there is a Robert Archer, like Freddie says. And I can tell you something about him, too.
What do you know about Robert Archer, Beanie?
Good heavens, boy, what could you know about him?
Well, I know that... Oh, keepers, look, Mr. Kent. Look at this news flash. It just came in.
What news flash?
Wait a minute, Jim.
That'll tell you about him.
What does it say, Mr. Kent?
Yes, do read it aloud.
It's dated Parkersville, and it says, Robert Archer, Associate Professor of Mathematics at Parkersville University, and one-time assistant to the late Sir Hubert Clay, famous British mathematician and physicist,
That's him, that's the man.
disappeared from his home last night under mysterious circumstances.
Disappeared?
Robert Archer disappeared?
That's right, Freddie. He disappeared before you could find him. What does this mean?
Hello. Are you Jim Olsen?
Why, yes, I am.
Oh, thank Mercury, thank Mars, thank Venus, thank everybody. Oh, you have no idea what a relief it is to find you.
Still shocked and struggling to collect his wits, Jimmy helped the tiny man from the box as the little fellow introduced himself.
I am Frederick the Great. You must have heard of me.
Well, I don't remember.
Oh, you must have. Before the war, I was a stellar attraction with the All England and British Commonwealth Circus. But you might call me Freddie if you like.
Well, thanks, Freddie. But what... how...
Don't waste your breath on questions, old chap. I'm in frightful trouble. You're simply frightful, and you must help me. You simply must, or heaven knows what will become of all of us.
Then Frederick the Great, or Freddie as he prefers to be known, explained to Jimmy and to Clark Kent, who arrived just then, that he had been sent to Jimmy by the cub reporter's cousin and aunt, proprietors of a small traveling circus, who felt Jim could help him in a search for a man named Robert Archer, and he stressed the importance of his quest.
You see, I simply must find Robert Archer before the 1st of February, Mr. Kent. The fate of the entire world depends on it.
Are you kidding?
Just exactly what do you mean by that, Freddie?
Well, I can't explain because I'm only telling you what my late master told me. The late Sir Hubert Clay, you know.
Sir Hubert Clay? You mean the great mathematician and physicist who died about a year ago?
Precisely. But he didn't just die, Mr. Kent. He was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes, he was murdered by the boot.
The boot?
Who's that?
Oh, he's a terrible man. A horrible man who's been chasing me all over the world. And now that he's killed my master, he wants to get the secret from me. You see?
Secret?
What secret?
Well, I don't know. Or do I?
Oh, now look.
But Robert Archer does, or he will when I give him my master's message. But I must find him before February 1st. If I don't, and my late master said this with his dying breath, if I don't find him before February 1st, something terrible will happen to the whole world.
Just as Kent and Jimmy were wondering if the tiny man and his story was some sort of a practical joke, a news flash was brought to them that said that a man named Robert Archer, an associate professor in a small college and one-time assistant to the late Sir Hubert Clay, had disappeared the night before under mysterious circumstances. And now, as the midget stands on Kent's desk and wrings his tiny hands in anguish, Kent snaps a quick order to Jimmy.
Run down to the clipping morgue, Jim. Get me everything they have on Sir Hubert Clay, right away.
Okay, Mr. Kent. I'll bring the clips up here.
No, don't. Make notes down there on everything you think is important and bring it to me as fast as you can.
Well, why can't I...
Please do as I say, Jim. Hurry.
Okay, but I don't see
Go on,
why...
Jim. Hurry.
I'm on my way.
Good. That gets rid of him.
Can you understand how important it is for us to find Robert Archer, Mr. Kent? Can you?
Well, I do now. Though I'll admit I didn't take your story too seriously before, but this news flash makes me think differently. Now, you and I are going down to Parkersville, the town from which Robert Archer disappeared.
Where is Parkersville?
Oh, it's a few hundred miles west in the mountains, but we can get there in a few minutes, so...
In a few minutes? How?
Huh? Oh, well... Look, Freddie, you said you trusted me.
Oh, yes, indeed, I do.
All right, then, hop back into that box and don't ask any questions.
But why?
No questions, Freddie.
Oh, very well, just as you say. But I'm terribly worried, Mr. Kent, terribly worried.
Well, relax. I'm going to put the cover back on your packing box, okay?
Very well, whatever you say. But,
There. You all right in there?
Oh, yes, quite. But I do wish that you tell me what you have in mind.
Never mind that now. Just tell me, can you see me through those air holes in the side of the box?
Why, no. No, they're on the side. And since I'm lying on my back, I can't turn enough to look through them.
That's fine. Now, just be patient for a second. This is a job for Superman. Out of these clothes.
Oh, Mr. Kent.
What? I mean, what?
Eh? Who's that with you?
With me?
Yes, I just heard another voice, a deep voice.
Oh, don't worry about that. There we are. All set. Pick up Freddie now.
Great Jupiter, what's happening?
Up with this window.
Oh, dear.
Now, up and away! Here we are in Parkersville. I'll just set Freddie down and get back into Clark Kent's clothes quickly.
Mr. Kent. Mr. Kent.
Yeah. Now, hat, specs. There we are.
Oh, I say, Mr. Kent.
Okay, Freddie, I'll open the box now and let you out.
Oh, good.
There you are.
Oh, thank you, old man. Oh, jumping jelly beans. Where are we?
Parkersville.
Parkersville. How did we get here?
Remember what you promised, Freddie?
Well...
No questions.
Oh, very well, old boy. But I never encountered anything like this in all my years with a circus.
Well, maybe I'll tell you about it sometime. Right now, we want to see the local police. Come on. Now, if you'll just start from the beginning, Sheriff, and tell us all you know, we'll be very grateful.
I won't take long to tell you all I know, Mr. Kent. Here it is. 5:15 yesterday afternoon, Archer left Parkersville College. He's a teacher there, you know.
Yes, I know.
He was going to his rooming house where a couple of students was waiting for him for some private tutoring.
Yes? Go on,
Well,
sir.
the rooming house ain't more than 5 minutes' walk from the college. But Mr. Archer never did show up there.
You're sure of that?
Positive.
Oh, where did he go? Where could he go?
You got me, little feller. Seems like Mr. Archer didn't go no place. He just plumb disappeared. Vanished like a puff of smoke.
Oh, great muck.
The sheriff's office in the little college town of Parkersville. The sheriff has just told Clark Kent and the midget Frederick that Robert Archer, a man who holds the secret of a worldwide disaster scheduled for February 1st, had suddenly and mysteriously disappeared. After a moment of stunned silence, Kent exclaims,
Now, look here, Sheriff. People don't just disappear like smoke, you know. There must be some
That's what I
explanation.
always said, too, Mr. Kent. But me and my deputy searched this town from one end to the other. We searched back in the hills, too.
Well?
We couldn't find hide in a hair, Mr. Archer.
Oh, great Lucifer, this is terrible. This is awful. Wait,
Wait, Freddie, wait a minute. Tell me, Sheriff, did you question the students at the university and the townspeople?
Yep. Seems as if nobody's seen him after he left the campus.
Oh, dear.
Well, how about his family? Did
Mr.
they know?
Archer didn't have no family, leastwise none I can find out about.
Oh?
You see, he come here from England about 6 months ago alone.
Oh, this is frightful. What do we do, Mr. Kent?
I don't know, Freddie.
If I could just find that other fella, he might know something.
What other fella?
Well, Dr. Holcomb, president of the college, he told me some fella come to his office yesterday afternoon asking about Mr. Archer.
Good heavens.
Yesterday afternoon?
Yep, a little while before Archer disappeared it was.
You know what he wanted of Archer?
Nope. But he wanted to know all about Archer, where he come from, what he did, everything.
See. Did he give Dr. Holcomb his name?
Yeah. Smith, he said it was.
Uh-oh.
But there must be a couple of million Smiths in this country.
Sure, at least.
What did he look like? What did he look like?
Big man, foreign talking, Dr. Holcomb said.
Tell me, was one of his legs shorter than the other? Did he walk with a heavy, thumping limp?
Yes, but how do you...
Oh, great Lucifer. That was the boot.
Huh?
Are you sure, Freddie?
Oh, yes. That man was the boot. The man who murdered my master and who's been chasing me all over the world. He must have taken Robert Archer away. Now we'll never see him again. Oh, Mr. Kent, what will we do? What will we do? Oh, I'm sure the boot has taken Mr. Archer away, and I will never find him. Oh, we're lost, Mr. Kent. The whole world is lost.
Refusing to accept that, Kent, as Superman, searched the countryside and surrounding mountains, but failed to find Archer or the mysterious evil man known as the Boot. Then, streaking back to Metropolis with Freddy, he secretly resumed his disguise of reporter Clark Kent. And we join him now in his office at the Daily Planet with Jimmy Olsen, where he is trying to quiet the little midget who stands on a desk in his green frock coat and striped trousers, wringing his tiny hands.
Oh, dear, we're lost, Mr. Kent.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Freddie. Now, wait, will you please calm down for 1 minute? There's some information I must have from you.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you want to know, old chap? Anything at all?
Well, first, just who is this man you call the Boot?
Oh, he's a terrible man, a horrible man. There never was such a terrible man in all the world.
You've already told us that.
Yes. What I want to know is, who exactly is he, Freddie?
Well, I don't know exactly.
What?
That is, I've never heard him called anything but the Boot. That's because he wears thick black boots and walks with a very heavy sort of a thumping limp because of an old injury.
And you said he speaks with a foreign accent, right?
Oh, that's right, Jimmy.
Do you know where he comes from?
No, but it is rumored that he heads a band of international criminals, spies, saboteurs, murderers, and such.
Oh, I see. And this man, the Boot, killed your late master, Sir Hubert Clay.
Oh, he did indeed, the fiend, because he wanted Sir Hubert's secret.
For Pete's sake, what secret?
Jim, I told you before, I don't know, but it was something wonderful, my master said. Something to do with, let me see, yes, mathematics and physics and... yes, astronomy.
Well, that's pretty general. Haven't you any idea what this, at least what the purpose of this secret was, Freddie?
Oh, yes. I remember the day he told me.
Oh?
It was just a little over a year ago.
Uh-huh.
My master had been away to the continent, and when he returned to our house in London, he was very, very happy. His eyes were shining.
I've done it.
You've done what, sir?
Accomplished what I set out to do for Joe. I told you I'd see to it there was never another war, didn't I?
Why, yes, I've heard you say so.
Well, I've done it. Since the people on this globe are too stupid to stop destroying themselves in hideous wars, I've arranged matters so they'll never dare consider going to war again.
Oh, that sounds jolly good, sir. But just how do you propose to do that?
Well, you'd need a great scientific knowledge to understand my discovery, Freddie. However, in a week or two, you'll see for yourself how it works. Then you'll know. Everyone will know.
That was all he told me, Mr. Kent.
But Sir Hubert said you'd know more about this secret, that you'd see it in a week or two, Freddie. What about that?
Oh, alas, that never came to pass.
It didn't.
No, Jim. You see, the next day, Sir Hubert and I embarked on a trip on the continent because somehow he learned that the Boot was after his secret. And that, Sir Hubert said, must never happen. Because if the Boot did get it, he could enslave the entire world overnight.
Slave the entire world?
Lizards. Was he
Oh,
serious?
he most certainly was. Well, as we traveled, he became more and more nervous each day. We changed trains several times, but always, Sir Hubert said, he could feel the Boot was following us.
Lizards.
Be quiet,
what
Jim.
happened?
Go on, Freddie.
Well, sir, that night, the third night, I believe it was, Sir Hubert woke me up at midnight. We stole from the train and took refuge on a tiny mountain inn. And it was there that it happened again. I'd fallen asleep again.
Wake up. He's here.
Who's there?
The boot.
The boot. Oh, great Lucifer. Where is he?
He's
Where?
outside. He and his men have this inn surrounded.
Oh, great Jupiter, sir. What do we do? What can we do?
Only one thing. Now listen carefully, Freddie. You're very small, so I'm going to put you into a suitcase. And when the boot and his men stop to come in, I'm going to throw the suitcase with you in it out into the snow. Then you can get away.
Oh, but you, sir. What about you?
Quiet, Freddie. I just heard someone come into the inn.
Oh, did you?
They'll be up here in a moment. Listen now. You're to find Robert Archer. Do you have that? Robert Archer, a former assistant of mine.
Oh, yes, Robert Archer. But where
I don't know where he is, but find him. And when you do, say this to him. X is to Freddie, as Y is to Sally. Repeat it.
Yes, X is to Freddy, as Y is to Sally.
Right. And then say, the equation equals the first day of February. In the name of heaven, act quickly. Repeat that.
The equation equals the first day of February. In the name of heaven, act quickly. I have it, sir.
Good, Freddie. Now, don't fail me. You must find Robert Archer before the 1st of February next. If you don't, a terrible disaster will strike the entire world.
Oh, but, sir, what
The
if...
boot's coming. Quiet. Into this suitcase with you, Freddie.
Yes.
Hurry, old chap. And in the name of heaven, find Robert Archer quickly.
What a spot you were in, Freddie.
Yes. Go on. What happened then?
Well, a moment later, the boot and his men broke into the room. Sir Hubert flung the suitcase, with me inside it, out into the snow. As I cut myself free, I heard my poor master cry out. At that moment, I almost died with grief. But I'd given him my word to carry out his mission, so I ran away.
And Sir Hubert?
Later, I heard that my poor master had died protecting a secret.
Oh, boy.
You must have had quite a time of it since then.
Oh, rather. But finally, I learned that Robert Archer was in the States, and I came here.
And that's when you got a job in my aunt's circus?
Well, that's right, Jim. I heard the boots thumping walk during a performance one day, and I persuaded your aunt and cousin to pack me into that box. But it was all for nothing, because now the boot has Robert Archer, and we'll never see him.
Gee whiz, and it's only 2 weeks to February 1st. We are some.
Oh, come now. Let's not give up so easily. To begin with, the boot may not have Archer at all.
Oh, he has. I just know he has.
Sure, he must have, Mr. Kent.
Well, now...
Well, you know, he was seen at the college yesterday, just before Archer disappeared.
Yes, but Archer may have seen the boot first and decided to make himself scarce. He may be hiding out somewhere right now, safe and sound.
Jumping jelly beans, I never thought of that.
Oh, gosh, even if that is so, how can we find him?
Well, the best stunt I can think of at the moment is to insert an ad in the personal column of the Daily Planet and of papers all over the country, addressed to Archer and asking him to contact me. I'll try to phrase the ad so he'll understand, and, well, if he is hiding out, I'm sure we'll hear from him.
Hey, that sounds like a pretty good idea.
Oh, I do hope so hard it works, but I'm afraid
We'll
that
find out, Freddie, and very soon. I'm going to arrange about the ads right now.
It's early evening in Metropolis. Homeward bound throngs are hurrying for buses, the elevated stations, and the subways, only stopping long enough to snatch their favorite newspaper from shouting vendors.
Get your Daily Planet here, Planet! Get your Daily...
Through the hurrying crowds walks a tall, powerfully built man. A wide-crowned European-style hat is pulled low over his forehead, and the collar of his dark, heavy overcoat covers the lower part of his face as he strides along with a heavy, thumping limp. At a newsstand, he stops for a moment, buys a copy of the Daily Planet. Then he limps on around a corner where the traffic is lighter. Leaning against a doorway, he opens the paper. A neon sign above his head advertising a brand of coffee gives him light as he leafs through the newspaper. Finally, on the inside of the last page, he stops, and his long, thick forefinger travels down a column of personal notices. Then suddenly, in mid-page, it halts. His lips move soundlessly as he reads the notice to Robert Archer that is signed by Clark Kent. For a brief moment, a ghost of a smile flickers across the man's long, shadowy face. A look of savage exultation lights up his deep-set eyes. Then, thrusting the paper into his overcoat pocket, the tall man limps away, moving much more rapidly now and with definite purpose. Was that the boot?
It's no use. No use at all. We'll never hear from Robert Archer.
Oh, be patient, Freddie. This is the first day our personal notice asking him to contact me has appeared in the papers.
I know. But nevertheless, I feel it's hopeless, Mr. Kent. Utterly hopeless.
Well, that's no way to talk, Freddie. If Mr. Archer's hiding out someplace, he may not have seen a newspaper yet.
But I don't believe he's hiding out, Jim. I'm certain the boot has him. And if that is so... Jumping jelly beans.
Huh?
What's the matter, Freddie?
I just noticed your calendar, Mr. Kent.
Whoa.
It says today is January 19th.
So what?
Well, that means there are only 12 days before January 1st, the day Sir Hubert said a terrible disaster would strike the world.
You mean February 1st. We know that,
only-
Freddie, but...
Robert Archer can prevent the disaster. He's the only one. But how can we find him? Oh,
Please,
dear,
Freddie,
dear,
stop wailing and wringing your hands. That gets us no place.
I know,
If
but...
we're to help you find Archer, we've got to try and figure this thing out.
That's right, Jim.
Very well. I'll do my best to remain calm.
Good. Now, you mentioned an equation that Sir Hubert told you to give to Archie. Would you mind repeating it again?
Oh, no, not at all. X is to Freddy as Y is to Sadie. The equation equals the first day of February.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean anything to you, Mr. Kent?
No, not a thing, Jim.
Me either. Sounds like double talk to me. But I never was very good at algebra.
dear.
Well, it's not really algebra, Jim. It's just phrased in a sort of algebraic form. Did Sir Hubert say Robert Archer would understand that equation,
Oh,
Freddie?
yes, indeed.
He did.
He said Mr. Archer would know what to do to prevent the catastrophe, or whatever it is. But now we'll never find them. There are only the 12 days left.
Oh, please don't keep saying that, Freddie.
Well, it's the truth, Jim, isn't it?
Well, maybe it is, but you don't have to keep repeating it, do you? You give me the jitters.
Take it easy, Jim.
Oh,
Well-
sorry, old boy, sorry, but I'm so frightfully worried. Somebody... I say, what's that?
It's just the clock in the insurance company tower.
Oh.
Hey, it's 7 o'clock. Time you two had your dinner and went undercover.
Undercover? What do you mean, Mr. Kent?
Well, for the time being, Jim, I want you and Freddie to stay at my apartment.
It's your apartment?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Well, Freddie was sent to you, and he says the boot has been trailing
Yes,
him.
all over the world. I even hear his heavy thumping walk in my dreams.
Do you think the boot may have trailed Freddie here to me?
Oh, I hope not. Dear me, I certainly do hope not.
I'm not sure, but let's not take any chances. Freddie, hop back into that packing crate of yours, please. I don't want anyone to notice you leaving here.
As you say, old man.
I'll carry you down to a taxi and ride home with the two of you. Jim, tell Beanie to stick around until I get back, will you, please? Just in case Archer should call or show up. And then you join us outside.
Okay, Mr. Kent.
City room, Beanie Martin speaking.
Is Mr. Clark Kent there, please?
Mr. Kent, no, he ain't. I mean, isn't. Nobody's here now except me and the night telegrapher.
Oh, well, can you tell me where I might reach Mr. Kent? It's very important.
Well, he's coming back. If you'll give me your number, I'll have him call you.
Oh, no, I can't do that. When will he be back?
Well, let's see. He just called up from where he is and said he's coming right back. It'll take him about a half an hour.
Hi, Beanie.
Holy mackerel, here he is now.
Well, put him on, will you, please?
Yeah, Holy smokes, Mr. Kent, how'd you ever get here so fast?
I flew, Beanie. Is
You
that
what?
call for... I say I made good time. Is that call for me?
Uh-huh. Here you are. Jeepers, I don't
Quiet,
see how...
please, Beanie. Hello, this is Clark Kent.
This is Robert Archer.
Robert Archer?
Jeepers,
Yes,
isn't that...
One moment, please. Wait in my office for me, Beanie.
Oh, gee. Okay.
Where are you, Mr. Archer?
I'm in Metropolis. That's all I can tell you now.
But look here,
If this is not a trap, you will understand why.
Oh, yes, I understand. But I assure you this is not a trap.
I hope not. Now, I'm willing to meet you if...
Good. How about coming right up to my office?
Oh, no. I prefer a more public place where I know nothing can happen to me.
Are you afraid I may be acting for the boot?
I'm not taking any chances, Mr. Kent.
Fair enough. How about meeting me at City Hall in the office of Perry White, the mayor of Metropolis?
Well...
Certainly the mayor's office should sound safe enough to you.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Then you'll meet me there?
Yes.
How soon?
Let's say within the hour.
Fine, I'll be waiting for you with Mayor White.
Very well. I'll be there. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Now we're getting someplace. Oh, what time is it now, Chief?
20 minutes after 9. What time did Archer say he'd be here, Kent?
I talked to him about 7:35, and he said he'd be here within the hour.
He's 45 minutes late, then.
Yeah. Just hope nothing happened to him.
Oh, don't get jittery. He may have been quite a distance from here when he called.
But he said within the hour.
Well, maybe he's been delayed by the traffic.
I hope that's all it is, and not...
Not what?
Well, I told you the boot was on Archer's trail as well as Freddy's, you know. He was in Parkersville yesterday, just before Archer disappeared.
But Archer got away from him, didn't he?
Yes, apparently he did, but...
And he was in Metropolis when he phoned you?
That's what he said. But the boot may be in Metropolis, too.
Well, relax. Nothing will happen to him here.
No.
Not since I became mayor, Kent. Our streets are as safe as a church.
What time is it now, Chief?
Will you stop fretting? It's 9:25.
Well, he's almost 50 minutes late. I'm worried, Chief. I'm very worried.
Well, you've had a pretty tough day, Freddie. Why don't you go to bed?
Oh, I couldn't possibly sleep, Jim. I'm much too worried about Mr. Archer and the boot and the 1st of February, you know.
Look, Freddie, if you mention the 1st of February to me again, Well, I might forget your little.
Oh, I'm sorry, old chap. Really, I am.
Okay, I guess I'm kind of jittery tonight.
I know, old chap. And you're quite right. Talking about what might happen only seems to make it worse. Perhaps I will go to bed. Where do I turn in?
Well, you take the bedroom. I'll sleep out here on the studio couch.
What about Mr. Kent?
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was coming back.
I'll tell you what. If you'll help me remove a drawer from the dresser, I'll sleep in that.
What? Sleep in a drawer?
Oh, I've done it often. I am quite small, you know.
Well, yeah, but... Well, if you're sure you won't mind.
No, not at all.
Well, come on, then. I'll take the drawer out for you.
No, wait, Jim.
What's the matter?
Listen.
Listen to what? What's the matter with you, Freddie? You're shaking like a leaf.
Don't you hear him?
What are you talking about?
The boot.
The boot?
Yes. He's right outside in the corridor, coming to our door. Listen.
Are you sure that's him?
Oh, yes. I'd know his limp anywhere.
Oh, jeepers.
He's coming here, Jim. He's come here for me.
I don't hear those steps anymore, Freddie. Do you?
No.
I'm going to peek out into the hall.
No, Jim, don't. The boot is out there.
Now, look, Freddie. Just because we heard the steps of a man who limps, it doesn't mean he was the boot. There are lots of...
you there was the boot. I'd know his step anywhere.
Oh, you've got the jitters. There's probably somebody going to some other apartment.
No. It was the boot. I know it.
Then where is he? He wouldn't just stand outside the door. Jeepers.
Damn me. There he is.
Be quiet. Who is it? Who's there? He won't answer.
He won't identify himself. He wants us to open the door. And then he'll...
Shh. I think I better call up Mr. Kent.
Good idea, old chap. Hurry.
M-E-1-6. Oh. Golly, I messed it up.
Hurry, old chap. For heaven's sakes, hurry.
What was that?
I don't know. But never mind it. You go on. Call Mr. Kent.
Yeah, okay, I will. M-E-1-6. Oh.
What are you stopping for?
I don't know. I feel kind of funny.
Yes. So do I.
6. Oh, gosh, I already dialed that. I got... Oh.
Jim, what?
As Freddy starts toward Jimmy Olsen, who has collapsed, the tiny man staggers, reels, and then he, too, falls to the floor where he lies motionless. Meanwhile, unaware of what is taking place in his apartment, Clark Kent is in Mayor Perry White's office in City Hall, where he and White are waiting for the mysterious Robert Archer.
What time is it now, Chief?
Will you stop asking me that every half minute, Kent?
Well...
It's 9:30.
Archer said he'd be here an hour ago. I think we'd better get in touch with Inspector Henderson.
Henderson? Why?
Well, because Archer may have run into that awful character, the boot.
No, he got away from him in Parkersville, didn't he?
Well, apparently.
Well, if he could dodge him in a little town like that, he certainly wouldn't have any trouble in a big city like Metropolis.
I'm not so sure. Besides, well...
Besides what?
Well, it just occurred to me that this whole thing may be a trap set by the boot. To get me out of the way, I mean, while he takes...
Just a minute. Come in. Yes? What is it, Connie?
Mr. Mayor, there's a gentleman named Robert Archer here to see Mr. Kent.
Oh, boy, at last.
You see, Kent? Show him in, Connie.
Yes, sir. Right in here, please.
Thank you. Mr. Kent?
Yes, I'm Kent. How do you do? This is Mayor White.
Oh, how do you do?
Glad to see you, Mr. Archer.
And so am I.
Kent was sure you'd been caught by that bogeyman at the boot.
Well, it's because you're over an hour late, Mr. Archer.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, but there were two suspicious-looking men standing outside of my hotel.
Oh, I see.
Was one of them the boot?
No, but I didn't like their looks, so I waited in the lobby for quite a while. When they didn't leave, I managed to get out through a service door in the basement, but that delayed me.
Of course, I understand.
Why didn't you call the police?
Because, well, you see, I don't want to attract any more attention to myself than necessary. Now, Mr. Kent, you said in your personal notice in the papers that you had something important to tell me about Sir Hubert Clay. Is that so?
Yes, but before we go into that, I'd like to be sure you are Robert Archer.
Oh, don't be silly, Kent.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chief, but I must be sure.
Oh, I understand. Here, I think this will convince you, Mr. Kent. Here's my passport. It has my photo on it.
Uh-huh.
This is my university identification. Driver's license. Oh, here's a photograph of me taken some years ago with the late Sir Hubert. I worked with him for some time. His assistant, you know.
Yes, I know. Okay, I'm satisfied that you're Robert Archer. Now,
let's get down to cases.
Right. You see, Mr. Archer, the other day, a tiny man, a midget, came to see Jim Olson, a young reporter on our paper. He said his name was Frederick. Does that mean anything to you?
Frederick?
Mm-hmm.
No,
He used to be a circus performer. Later he became the companion, and a sort of servant, I imagine, to the late Sir Hubert Clay.
Oh, yes, I seem to recall hearing of that. It was a short time after I'd left Sir Hubert.
Oh, come on, Kent. Come on, get to the point.
I am, Chief. Well, just before Sir Hubert was murdered by the boot, Mr. Archer...
And the boot did do it. I thought so.
Yes. Well, just before it happened, Sir Hubert told Freddie he must find you.
Me?
Yes, Sir Hubert said that only you could prevent some great disaster, a catastrophe that's scheduled to strike the entire world on February 1st.
What's that?
You seem surprised. Don't you know what Sir Hubert meant?
Why, no, I don't.
You see, Kent? I told you it was all a lot of balderdash.
I'm sure it isn't, Chief. Maybe this will help, Mr. Archer. Sir Hubert gave Freddie a message for you.
He did? Did he tell you what it is?
Yes, he did. X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari.
Sari?
The equation equals the first day of February. In the name of heaven, act quickly.
Does that nonsensical double talk mean anything to you, Archer?
Yes, it does, Mr. White.
It does?
Why, yes, but...
Oh, what does it mean?
But I can't tell you until I've spoken with this midget chap. Where is he?
Well, right now, Freddie is at
What do you need Freddie for? He told Kent and Jim Olson he doesn't know about this big secret.
Oh, yes, he does. He must. Take me to him quickly, please.
Say Freddie does know the secret?
Yes, but
I don't get this at all.
Freddie may not know that he knows, but he does know. I'm sure of that.
Oh, now look here, Mr. Archer.
Please, gentlemen, let's not waste precious time. If Sir Hubert said a great disaster will strike on February the 1st, it will. And with time so short...
But wait a minute.
Take me to this chap, Freddie, at once. Please, take me to him. And perhaps I can learn the secret in time to avert the catastrophe.
Right. Come with me, Mr. Archer. You too, Chief.
Accompanied by Mayor Perry White and Robert Archer, a thin, scholarly-looking man, Clark Kent has arrived at the door of his apartment. But as he fits the key into the lock, his X-ray vision probes through the door, and he gasps,
Great Scott!
What's the matter, Kent?
Wait just a minute, Chief. Now, look.
Great Caesar, that's Jim on the floor.
Good heavens.
Kent, is he?
No, he's alive all right, Chief. His heart action's okay.
Oh, thank goodness. But what happened? How did...
Freddie! Freddie is gone.
Gone?
Freddie? You mean the midget?
Yes, Mr. Archer. He's gone. Disappeared.
Well, there goes the key to Sir Hubert's secret.
Freddie and I were just getting ready to go to bed, Mr. Kent, when we heard these heavy, sort of limping footsteps out in the hall. Freddie said it was the boot. And
The boot?
Yeah. You know, that awful man who killed Sir Hubert Clay and was chasing Freddie all over the world.
Yes, we know who the boot is, Jim. Was he here?
I don't know.
You don't know?
But you just said that he was in the hall.
Freddie said so, Mr. White. He said he recognized the steps.
Oh, I see.
Well, go on, Jim. What happened then?
Well, then the doorbell rang.
Uh-huh.
I asked who it was, but nobody answered.
Well, why didn't you phone us or the police at once?
I started to, Chief. I started to call up Mr. Kent. Then I heard a kind of hissing noise near the door.
Huh?
Like air escaping from a tire. Then the whole room started to go around, and
Uh-oh.
I just blacked out.
Well, naturally, that hissing noise Jim heard must have been the sound of knockout gas being shot into the room.
Oh, dear.
Knockout gas? Sure. The boot or whoever it was must have sent it into the room to knock out Jim and Freddie and prevent them from summoning help. Then he picked the lock, came in, put Freddie in the packing box, and went off with him.
Oh, good heavens, that's dreadful.
Yeah, poor Freddie. The boot will finish him.
Now, wait. It may not have been the boot.
Oh, I'm afraid it was, Chief. We know he's been trailing Freddie all over the world to try to discover Sir Hubert Clay's secret.
Yes, but how did you know he was here? In your apartment?
Well, he probably saw my personal notice in the papers addressed to Mr. Archer and figured Freddie must be with me.
That could be.
I should have thought of that and arranged police protection for Freddie.
Why, of course.
What'll we do now, Mr. Kent? I can't prevent the disaster Sir Hubert said would take place on February the 1st unless I talk to Freddie and find out what it is.
I know that.
But Freddie doesn't know what it is, Mr. Archer.
Oh, yes, he does, Jim, he does.
No, he told me and Mr. Kent he doesn't know.
He may not think he knows, but he does.
Huh? Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, that's what I want to know.
Well, never mind that now. What we've got to do is find Freddie and bring him and Mr. Archer together. Look, Chief, you call Inspector Henderson and get him over here at once. Mr. Archer, you stay here. Don't go out alone, whatever you do. I'll be back later.
Where are you going, Kent?
I want to see Jansen, the building superintendent, first. Then I'll look for Freddie my way. So long.
Yes, Mr. Kent, come to think of it, they did see a man leave the building with the wooden box.
You sure, Mr. Jansen?
Yes, sir, a big man he was, and he had his coat collar turned up. Walked with a limp, too, he did.
That's the man I want. Did you see where he went?
Well, he got into a car with the box and drove away. North. No, south, toward the boulevard.
How long ago was this?
Oh, quite a spell after supper. Long, about 9:30, they'd say.
All right, thanks, Jansen. Inspector Henderson will be here soon. Tell him what you told me, will you?
Yes, sir.
Thanks again. So long. Out of these clothes. The boot has about 2 hours start on me, but if he's still in his car with Freddie, I may be able to find him as Superman. There we are. All set. Now, up and away!
Leaping high into the starry night sky, Superman begins flashing over the great city like a meteor, coursing above the multitudinous streets and roads, his keen eyes searching the seemingly endless parade of vehicles below him. Farther he ranges and farther into the thinly settled outskirts of the vast metropolis, and then into the snow-covered countryside where the cars are few and far between on the icy highways. Finally, long past midnight, having failed to find the boot and his tiny captive, Superman resumes his disguise of Clark Kent and returns to his apartment. There he finds 2 police officers standing guard outside his door, while inside Jimmy Olsen is asleep. Robert Archer leaps anxiously to his feet as Kent enters.
Well, Mr. Kent?
No luck, Mr. Archer.
Oh, dear.
Has Inspector Henderson been here?
Yes, I told him what I knew, which is very little. So did Jim Olsen.
Good.
He went back to police headquarters to direct the search. Mr. White went with him.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe they'll have better luck than I did.
I'm not very confident of that, Mr. Kent. The boot is extremely clever. As clever as he is dangerous.
Well, that may be, but we hold the trump card. And unless I'm very much mistaken, the boot will walk into our hands.
Oh, what do you mean?
Just this. The boot is after Sir Hubert Clay's secret, whatever that is, and he thinks Freddie has the secret.
He's right. The midget has the secret.
Yes, but Freddie doesn't know he has it. And as I understand it, only you can obtain it from him in some way only you know, right?
Yes, but...
Well, the boot will discover that and make a try for you. And when he does, no matter how clever he is, I promise you I'll get him.
You're wrong, Mr. Kent. The boot doesn't need me to obtain Sir Hubert's secret.
He doesn't?
No.
What you said, Freddie said...
Now, look. Do you remember that equation Sir Hubert taught Freddie to repeat to me?
X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari?
That's it. Well, Sir Hubert thought that only I could interpret it and so be able to learn the secret. But that isn't true.
What?
One other man in the world can interpret the equation.
Great Scott, who's that?
The boot.
What?
Yes. The boot can interpret Sir Hubert's equation.
But I don't understand, Mr. Archer. I thought
Let
that
me
you...
explain, Mr. Kent. As you know, I was at one time Sir Hubert Clay's assistant.
Yes?
I've always kept a diary in which I recorded the work I was doing as well as any personal notes.
Go on.
Well, the other day, as you know, the boot appeared in Parkersville where I was teaching in the college.
Yes.
I saw him on the campus and knew he was after me, so I ran home to my room to get my diary and escape. Well, when I got there, I found everything in my room pulled apart, and the diary was gone.
Scott, you think the boot stole it?
I'm positive he did, because nothing else was taken.
Uh-oh.
And now, with that diary in his possession, the boot can learn Sir Hubert's secret from the midget chap, Freddie. Don't you see?
Well, no, not quite. You said you didn't know the secret. How could it be in your diary?
The actual secret isn't there, but the key to the equation is.
What?
The equation is, as you know, X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari.
Yes?
Well, Sari is identified in my diary.
Who or what is Sari?
Sari is a physician or faith healer whom Sir Hubert and I knew in the East and who did most of his work when his patient was under hypnosis.
Hypnosis?
Yes. Sir Hubert and I became quite friendly with Sari, and he instructed us in the technique of hypnosis.
So wait a minute, Mr. Archer. I think I'm beginning to get this. You think Sir Hubert confided his secret, whatever it is, to Freddie while Freddie was under hypnosis?
Precisely, Mr. Kent.
Well, now it adds up. Freddie, not knowing he had the secret, couldn't be made to reveal it except to you under hypnosis, right?
Exactly.
Well, but what makes you think the boot knows who Sari is?
Because the boot knew what Sir Hubert was working on. You see, at that time, he was the chief spy for the Nazi Farben Company.
Oh.
He followed us everywhere and has a detailed record of all our movements and friends.
I see, but that...
I have an idea now what Sir Hubert's secret is, Mr. Kent. And if I'm right, and the boot succeeds in learning it from Freddie...
Yes?
Then the boot can and will control the world.
What?
Yes. It will be within his power to rule as absolute master. As you know, Mr. Kent, before Sir Hubert died, he instructed Freddie to find me and to give me the equation X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari.
Yes, I know, Mr. Archer, but what does it mean? Who or what is Sari?
Sari was a physician or healer, as he was called, whom Sir Hubert and I knew in the Far East and who did much of his work when his patients were in a state of hypnosis.
He was a hypnotist?
Yes. And he instructed Sir Hubert and me in the technique.
Oh.
Now, I believe that Sir Hubert hypnotized Freddie and then told him the secret of the disaster which is scheduled for February the 1st.
Oh, and you mean if you would hypnotize Freddie, he would reveal the secret to you?
Right. And I would then act to prevent the disaster. But now, with Freddie in the hands of the boot, I'm afraid I'm too late.
Now, wait. What makes you think the boot knows the meaning of Sari and the rest of that odd equation?
The boot has my diary, Mr. Kent, and that fact is recorded there.
Oh, I see.
He'll force Freddie to reveal the equation. X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari, and then he'll know how to obtain Sir Hubert's secret.
Well, now, it may not be so easy as all that. After all, Freddie's no fool, and he's not a coward either. He may not...
Believe me, Mr. Kent. The boot will make him tell all he knows. And once he has the secret, he'll be master of the world.
You keep saying that, Mr. Archer. You must have some idea what this secret of Sir Hubert's is.
I have indeed, Mr. Kent.
Well, then, for heaven's sake, tell me. I may be able to do something about it.
Impossible. You can't. No one can without knowing everything. And I know very little.
Well, then tell me what you do know, please.
Very well. Long before most scientists became interested in nuclear physics, Sir Hubert Clay was working on an equation relative to the radioactivity of the sun.
The sun?
Yes. Sir Hubert was one of the first to expound the theory that the sun is like a gigantic cyclotron bombarding space with shooting neutrons in a constant chain reaction. It was, he said, only our atmosphere which checked the reaction and saved our Earth from being destroyed in one great atomic explosion.
Yes, I've heard that theory. Go on, please.
He had a notion, a very wild notion, I thought then, that this tremendous radioactivity generated by the sun might somehow be harnessed and used for the good of humanity in medicine, science, industry.
Yes, I see, but...
Now I think Sir Hubert not only perfected his equation, but devised a means of using the atomic power of the sun.
Yes, I remember Freddie saying that Sir Hubert was arranging a demonstration of this at the time he was killed by the boot.
I'm sure it was a monstrous sun weapon of some sort.
But it sounds incredible. But if it is true, why did Sir Hubert tell Freddie that a dreadful disaster would strike the world on February 1st, unless you stopped it, that is?
I've been thinking about that. All I can imagine is that Sir Hubert had arranged this demonstration and was murdered before he could either go through with it or stop it.
You mean he had set up some mechanism or whatever it is and timed it to go into action on February 1st?
Perhaps.
But where could it be? And what?
I have no idea of either where it could be or what it is, Mr. Kent. But I am definite in the belief that if the boot learns the secret from Freddie...
He mustn't learn it. I've got to find him before he can, somehow.
You? How can you find him, Mr. Kent?
Well, the chances are he's in Metropolis, or not far from it.
Why do you think that's so?
Because the police and the FBI put out an alarm for him 2 hours after he left this apartment with Freddie. He's a noticeable man himself, with his limp, and little Freddie is even more noticeable. So he wouldn't dare go far before he went into hiding.
Perhaps not. But Metropolis is a huge city, and the boot may have accomplices here to hide him.
I know. But if he's in Metropolis, I'll find him. If I have to search every building, every room, every inch of the city.
You're mad. You can't possibly do that.
That's what you think. I'll see you later, Mr. Archer. So long.
His face grim, Clark Kent hurries from his apartment to begin, as Superman, the terrific task of searching every inch of the great city for the boot. Meanwhile, in the deep cellar of a colonial mansion, set in the middle of a park-like estate in a metropolis suburb, the boot faces Freddie menacingly. Well over 6 feet tall, with powerful stooped shoulders and a hawk-like face with eyes like green ice, the boot looms over the tiny man who has backed into a corner. Freddie's face is bruised and cut. One small arm hangs limply at his side, and he raises the other defensively before him.
Fuck you. What did Sir Hubert Clay tell you to say to Robert Archer?
He didn't tell me anything.
You still defy me. Very well, then, I will...
But I can't tell you anything. Nothing at all.
Yes, you can, you must. Now tell me, what message did Sir Hubert give to you for Robert Archer?
He didn't give me any message, I tell you. None. Let me go.
Talk, you stupid little one. Tiny idiot, talk.
All right. I'll tell you. Let me go.
Very well. Now tell me what he said quickly.
My master said I was to tell Mr. Archer X is to Freddie, as Y is to Sally.
What nonsense is this?
That's what he said. I swear it. That was also to say the equation equals the first day of February. Act quickly in the name of heaven.
X is to Freddie. Freddie is your name.
Yes, sir.
Y is to Sally. What is this, Sally?
I don't know. On my word of honor, I don't know.
Sally. Seems to me I have heard or perhaps read. Yes, now I remember. It was in Archer's diary. I shall look again in the diary. Perhaps there I will find the explanation.
As Freddie stands by fearfully, the boot whips Robert Archer's diary from his pocket and begins riffling swiftly through the pages. Archer told Clark Kent he was not sure whether or not he had identified Sari in his diary.
Sari, it says here, was a physician in the Far East, a friend of Archer and Sir Hubert. Do you know of him, Midget?
No, sir. I never heard of him.
Could it be that Sir Hubert took him into his confidence? A mere physician? This seems possible. Yet... wait. There is another entry here about him. Tonight, Sari explained to us how he had obtained beneficial results with many patients by placing them in a state of hypnosis. Fascinating talk. Is all there, right?
That's strange, isn't it?
There must be some connection. X is to Freddie as Y is to Sari. Sari's physician, hypnotist. I do not see it. Wait. Could it be that... It could be...
Oh, please, sir. Don't look at me like that.
I wonder...
Don't look at me like that.
Could this be the answer? Yes, I know now how to obtain Sir Hubert's great secret. And you, my little man, will help me.
But how? when all I know is the peculiar equation Sir Hubert taught me to repeat to Robert Archer.
I say he told you much more. He told you everything.
Oh, no, sir.
I'm sure he told you the secret of his great new sun energy weapon. Now you shall tell it to me, and I will be master of the whole world.
I swear to you, sir, I don't know the secret. I know nothing of science and mathematics. My late master tried often to teach me, but he finally gave up. He said my small head was not capable of such deep thinking.
However, he found a way to insert the necessary information in your small head so you could relay it to Robert Archer, didn't he?
I don't know what you mean.
I will explain. Then you shall tell me what I wish to know. And you and I together will rule the world.
You and I rule?
Yes, the two of us. You, my little man, will be a great king, an emperor. You will have palaces, jewels, armies, anything you desire. How will you like that, eh?
Oh, no, you're pulling my leg.
Oh, I speak the truth. Everything I said you can have. You need only cooperate with me.
I see. And you'd share this jolly setup with me, eh?
Yes, I will be your, let us say, your partner, your fellow emperor.
That does it then, old boy. I say nothing doing.
But why? There is plenty for both of us. The whole world to divide between only the two of us.
I know. Now, look here, old man. Even if I didn't know that you were up to some rotten trick...
Trick? You think I am tricking you?
What else would you have me think? After bashing me around something frightful, practically killing me, you know, and the next moment offering to share the whole bloomin' world with me.
It is because I have taken a great fancy to you.
Rubbish. Why, you wring my neck the first moment it pleases you, just as you did my poor master, Sir Hubert, and you know it.
No, my friend.
And don't you call me friend, you bounder, you beastly murderer. Do you think even if I believed you for half a tick, I would do anything to help you gain power? You're a foul, horrible man.
You miserable little fool. You midget idiot. I will teach you to defy the boot. I will learn what I want. You will tell me, and then I'll... All right. You outside, stop laughing.
Oh, dear. Oh.
I am sorry if I have hurt you, my little friend.
You came jolly close to finishing me.
Forgive me, I have a bad temper. I lost my head.
Well, if you're really sorry, which I know you're not, let me go. Please let me go.
No, I cannot do that just yet. You must help me first.
But I can't help you. I tell you, I don't know anything about Sir Hubert's secret. Can't you believe that?
Listen, I will tell you how you can help me, and if you do as I ask, then I will let you go. That is a promise. Do you agree?
But No.
I want only your word that you will cooperate.
No, I won't. I don't know what you're talking about. But whatever it is, I will not help. I'll do nothing for you because you're a terrible man. You murdered my master.
Come on, fool. This time I will finish you. I will...
No. That's not the way. Don't do that.
Be quiet out there. I will do this my own way.
No, listen to me.
Silence, I said. Wait. I will come outside.
Oh, dear.
Why do you shout like a fool, Minter?
Because I was afraid you'd kill him.
Wait.
Besides...
I will close the door. The stupid, stubborn little idiot. He defies me.
I know, but you must win his confidence so he'll be willing to cooperate. Because, as I have already told you, unless one agrees willingly, it is impossible to hypnotize him.
I tried to win his confidence. I promised the little mouse everything, but he fears and hates me.
Well, in that case, I can do nothing. I will go.
Wait, Minter, wait. Did I not tell you Sir Hubert hypnotized the midget, then told him his secret, which he can reveal only when he is again hypnotized?
Yes, but again I must explain to you that a person can only be hypnotized when he is willing. He must be relaxed, perfectly at ease. Otherwise, it is impossible.
Very well. I know of a way to make the tiny, stubborn fool cooperate with us.
You do?
Yes. I was not chief agent for the German Farb and Company for nothing. I know all the Nazi tricks, and many of my own.
But force, torture, they are the wrong tactics. I tell you the subject must be willing.
I understand, and I promise you he shall be willing. Come upstairs with me, Minter. Hurry.
High above the sleeping city of Metropolis, like a meteor coursing through the gray skies of early dawn, Superman is engaged in a monumental task, searching every building, every room, every inch of the great city for the Boot and his tiny captive, Freddy. All through the night, Superman has hunted, flashing above the giant skyscrapers, circling them, then swooping low to probe shops, stores, modest bungalows with his X-ray vision. And still he continues his search. Now, as the first faint rays of the rising sun dimly lighten the sky, the Man of Steel pauses in lonely, curious flight high above a ghostly spire.
I've covered half of Metropolis, but no sign of Freddy and the Boot yet. This is as tough a job as I ever tackled, but I must find them. Well, still half the city to cover. If they're anywhere in it, I will find them. Away!
Flashing away, swooping, darting, climbing like some fabulous great red and blue bird, Superman resumes his relentless search for the Boot and the tiny Frederick. Meanwhile, in the cellar room of the suburban colonial mansion, the Boot and his companion, the thin, black-clad man named Minter, stand near a cot on which Freddy lies relaxed in sleep.
I will wake him in another moment, Minter. Then you will find him a willing subject.
You think he'll be cooperative?
Perfectly. The medicine I gave him will assure that.
Tell me, what is this medicine?
That is my own secret. Given to me by the greatest of all Nazi physicians. When someone was so strong he refused to give information, despite all the stormtroopers did to him, this medicine loosened his tongue.
It must be some rare drug, eh?
The tiny fool grows restless. It is time to wake him. Wake up, little friend. Wake up. Wake up. He is awake. Prepare yourself, Minter. In a moment you will be able to impress your will upon him. And he will tell us Sir Hubert's great secret.
The windows in his room are shuttered, and a single table lamp casts a soft glow as Freddy, rubbing his eyes with his little fists, looks wonderingly into the serene face of Minter, whom he has never seen before.
Where am I?
Don't worry, Freddy. You're safe in my house.
Who are you?
I am Robert Archer.
Robert Archer?
That's right.
Then you are the chap my late master, Sir Hubert Clay, instructed me to find?
That's right, Freddy. He told you to say to me, X is to Freddy as Y is to Seri. Correct?
Why, yes, so he did. But there was more.
Yes?
Let me see. I was to say the equation equals the first day of February. In the name of heaven, act quickly.
The first day of February?
Yes. My head seems awfully woolly at the moment. But I distinctly remember his saying, I must find you before February 1st, or something quite terrible would happen to the world on that day.
Really?
I say, you possibly know what he meant.
No, you must tell me.
But I have no idea of what he meant.
Of course you do, Freddy. You know everything, subconsciously.
I say, what are you talking about, old chap?
Do you remember that before Sir Hubert died, he hypnotized you?
Why, yes. He said it was important for some reason, but...
Well, when Sir Hubert hypnotized you, he told you his great secret. Then he instructed you to forget it when you were awake, but to remember it again when I hypnotized you.
Great Jupiter, fancy that. Wasn't that a jolly brilliant idea?
It was. Now, have you any objections to my hypnotizing you, Freddy?
Well, I say you are Robert Archer, aren't you?
Would I know the meaning of Sir Hubert's strange message you brought if I weren't?
Well, no, I suppose you wouldn't, would you?
Of course not. Well, then, shall we begin?
Very well, old man. You may proceed when you're ready. As I recall, it's very simple. I just look into your eyes.
Yes, you look steadily into my eyes. And listen to me. Just listen to me.
Wonderful, Minter, wonderful. I heard everything. The midget told you all. And now Sir Hubert's secret is mine. With it, I will be master of the whole world.
Oh, no. You mean you and I will be masters together?
What is this?
I know the secret now, too, my friend. And I mean to share equally in the spoils.
Impossible. You are mad. I promised you a fee, $1,000, but this is...
When you have a secret such as this discovery of Sir Hubert Clay, you expect me to be content with a measly $1,000? You must think I'm a fool.
Yes. You are a great fool, Minter, if you think you can blackmail the boat. You must be joking.
Oh, no, I'm not joking. I mean what I say.
For years, I have followed Sir Hubert, watching his experiments and waiting to steal his great discovery. For the last year, I have followed the midget, taking great chances. And now you dare...
You killed Sir Hubert. The midget said so. If I call the police...
You will not call the police, my friend. In fact, you will never call anyone again.
No. Stay away from me. Stay away, I said. Help!
March. Where are you, March?
I am here, sir.
Oh, come with me.
Where, sir?
Upstairs. We must dispose of the midget.
Yes, sir. What about the hypnotist, sir?
I have already taken care of him. Now we will finish the midget, and then I must leave at once, March. I have work to do. Yes, very important and wonderful work.
I've searched every inch of Metropolis, Inspector Henderson, every building, every room, every cellar, and I can assure you Freddy and the boot are not in the city.
Then they can't be far away, Superman.
That's what I thought. Now, I'm not so certain.
Well, I'm sure the boot went underground nearby. I put out a statewide alarm for him less than 2 hours after he left Clark Kent's apartment with the midget. So don't worry. We'll find them eventually.
Yes, but eventually may be too late, Inspector. I've told you the boot knows how to obtain Sir Hubert's secret from Freddy. Every second counts now. And if we're to find Freddy and the boot before it's too late, well, it seems to be up to me.
What do you plan to do?
If the boot is hiding out around here, I figure he must have accomplices.
Right.
Chances are, if the hideout is in a suburb or village, the accomplices are supposedly respectable people whom the police would never suspect.
Well, that's possible, but
wait,
huh?
Inspector. So I'm going to comb the suburbs and the nearby villages and farms the same way I covered the city. I'm going to examine every house, every store, every cellar, every shed.
That's a pretty tall order, even for you, Superman.
I know, but we're playing for tall stakes, Inspector. For the security of the civilized world, for our very lives. So I better get started at once. Do you mind if I leave by this window?
Not at all.
So long, Inspector.
So long, and good luck, Superman.
Thanks. Up and away!
Great Lucifer.
What is it, sir?
He's gone, March. The midget is gone.
Oh, no, sir. Why, that's impossible,
Look
sir.
for yourself. He isn't here.
But the door was locked, and the shutters are still on the windows. They're fastened in place. See?
Yes.
So he couldn't have left this room,
But
sir.
obviously he did leave somehow. He must be found.
Wait. What is that? Something in the fireplace.
Oh, so that is where he is, eh?
Of course, sir. He must have climbed up the flue of the fireplace into the chimney. He's up there now. Hear him, sir?
Yes. The little fool must have recovered from the drug I gave him and tried to escape. Now the ground's surrounded.
Yes, sir.
Good. Listen closely now. My plane is ready, so I must leave at once. Meanwhile, you will build a fire in the fireplace. Then the smoke will drive the stupid little one to the roof, where you can arrange for him to be shot. You understand?
I understand, sir.
Now I go, for I must be in a certain far-off place before February the 1st. But you will hear from me. And when you do...
What then, sir?
Then I will be master of the whole world.
The Man of Steel began a relentless search of the suburbs and villages surrounding Metropolis. Meanwhile, in the library of a suburban mansion set in a park-like estate, Freddy is hiding in a chimney, as March, the Boot's personal valet, starts a roaring blaze in the fireplace. And as the smoke and flames shoot up the flue, another man enters the room.
What's the idea of the fire, March?
That will drive the little devil out.
What little devil? What are you talking about?
The midget, of course. You see, he tried to get away by climbing up the flue of the fireplace into the chimney.
He did, eh?
Yes, but the smoke of the fire will fix him. He'll either be knocked out and fall down into the fire, or he'll climb out on the roof.
Well, if he manages
Come on, Gebhardt.
Where?
Up to the roof. If he gets out, we'd better be waiting for him. The Boot said we must get rid of him. Come on.
I don't see the midget up here.
Look, there he is, just coming out of the chimney, see?
Yeah, I see him. What are you going to do, March?
I'm going to shoot him, of course. He makes a fine target from here. Now.
Wait. Save your bullets. See, he's fallen to the roof. He doesn't move. Smoke in the chimney must have finished him.
Well, we'll find out. Come on.
He's the smallest man I've ever seen.
Yes, but he had big information. The Boot said he'll be able to control the whole world now that he knows the midget's secret.
Really?
Yes. Well, now let's have a look at this fellow. You were wrong, Gebhardt.
He's alive?
Yes, but he won't be in a second. On the count of 3, I fire. 1, 2, 3.
What? Loose! Give me that gun.
No, wait.
Thank you.
Who are you?
Freddy's alive, but he's in bad shape. Up with him.
I'm getting out of here.
So am I.
Oh, no, you don't. Come back here, you two.
Let me go.
Hey, no, I didn't do it. Stand still, you murderers. Stand still, I said, or I'll crack your worthless skulls together. Got to get Freddy to a hospital, so talk fast. Where is the Boot?
I don't know. Honestly,
He left in a plane.
Left in a plane, eh? All right, up with you two.
No, don't.
Please.
We let Freddy off at Metropolis Hospital first, then on to police headquarters with you two. Up and away! The doctor at the hospital said he's sure Freddy will be all right, Inspector Henderson.
Oh, good. Fine, Superman.
It'll be several hours before we can talk to him.
Several hours?
At least. Poor little fella's lungs were full of smoke, you know, and he's suffering from shock besides.
I see. And you say the Boot got away?
Yes, in a private plane. I haven't had a chance to question the men he left behind yet.
Where are they?
I dropped them at the city jail for safekeeping while I rushed back to the hospital to find out about Freddy. Let's hop over to the jail and see them.
Right. Come on, Superman.
Now, look here, March. Unless you want me to take you for another sky ride.
No, Superman, please.
Then talk. Where is the Boot?
I don't know, Inspector.
Do you know, Gebhardt?
No, Inspector. Believe me. I know nothing.
Now, listen, March. Talk or by George...
I don't know, I tell you. The Boot just said he was going a long way and that he'd summon me in a few days.
Summon you where?
I don't know, sir. He only said...
Yes?
He said what?
He said that when I heard from him, he'd be the master of the whole world.
Oh, what kind of baloney is that? Now, listen, March.
Wait, Inspector. If the Boot said that, it means he must have learned Sir Hubert Clay's secret from Freddy.
But how could he? Sir Hubert hypnotized Freddy before he told him, didn't he?
Yes, but
All right. And Freddy could only reveal the secret when he was hypnotized again. Even if the Boot knew that, he couldn't hypnotize the midget. Nobody can be hypnotized unless they want to be.
The Boot must have found a way, though. Isn't that right, you two? Isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, I guess you both want another sky ride after
No,
all.
please.
All right, then talk. The Boot hypnotized Freddy, didn't he?
No. Minter did.
Minter?
Who's Minter?
A hypnotist hired by the Boot. They gave the midget some kind of a drug, and they told him some kind of a story. I don't know what, but it worked.
I knew it.
Where is this hypnotist?
He's
dead.
Dead?
Yes. The Boot finished him. Holy smokes.
Tell me, March. Do you know the secret the Boot forced out of the midget?
Oh, no, sir.
Do you, Gebhardt?
No, I swear I don't.
But you heard Freddie tell it to the boot, didn't you?
No, sir. The boot wouldn't let us near the room.
That's right.
Didn't he tell you about it afterwards?
He said nothing to me about it. Nothing.
All he told me was that he had what he wanted at last.
Now, look, if you two are lying...
No, I
I'm
swear.
telling you the truth, sir.
So am I.
Now, look. Superman caught you two trying to shoot Freddy. You're also guilty of abduction. And if you don't get the chair, you'll get life. But if you cooperate with us, I might be able to help you a little.
Even if you offered to let me go free, I couldn't tell you any more than I have already, Inspector.
Nor could I, so help me. I told you everything. And that's the truth.
Well, where do we go from here, Superman?
There's just one chance left, Inspector.
Yeah? What's that?
That Freddie can reveal the secret to us in time for me to stop the boot. Come on. Let's go over to the hospital. Maybe he can talk to us now.
Oh, what's keeping that doctor?
Nurse said he'd be here in a moment, Inspector.
Well, I wish he'd hurry. The boot has a long start on us.
I know. Look, Mr. Archer.
Yes?
You're sure you can hypnotize Freddie?
Oh, yes, I am, Superman. That is, if he's willing to have me do so.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be willing. He was very devoted to Sir Hubert Clay, you know. And Sir Hubert commissioned him to contact you just before he died.
Wait. Here comes the doctor now.
Oh.
How is the little fellow, Doctor?
Not so well, Inspector. He's taken a turn for the worse.
Huh?
That's terrible.
Frankly, I don't know whether we can pull him through or not.
But you must.
Yes, only he can tell us what he revealed to the boot. And unless he does, Doctor, and quickly, our country, every country, may be at the mercy of as evil a man as ever lived.
I understand, and we're doing everything possible to save the little fellow, Superman. But I can't promise a thing. Only the Lord knows whether Freddie will live or die.
Hello, Jim.
Hi, Mr. Kent. How's Freddie?
No change yet. He's still a very sick lad.
Oh, gosh. The poor little guy.
Look, Jim, did you talk to Inspector Henderson?
Uh-huh. I just came from police headquarters.
Oh?
No news yet about the boot.
Oh, I see. Were the interceptor commands alerted?
Sure. They've been up in the air ever since noon.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's reported seeing the boot's plane yet, though.
Oh, that's bad. It's been gone over 12 hours. He must be well out of the country by now.
And how?
Only I knew where he was going. I could still get there before he does.
You could?
Yes, I...
How?
How?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'd find a way. I can't do a thing until Freddie tells us where this device is.
Device? What device?
Oh, whatever it is Sir Hubert Clay created to control the atomic power generated by the sun.
Oh. Look, Mr. Kent, do you think Sir Hubert really did do that?
I'm not sure, Jim. But I do think he constructed some sort of monstrous weapon. And so does Robert Archer. And if it's what we think it is, and the boot gets his hands on it, he can easily control the world by threatening to destroy any part of it at a moment's notice.
Leaping lizards. I sure hope his plane will fall in the ocean or he gets lost or something.
Well, even that won't help us.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, before he died, Sir Hubert told Freddie that his device, or whatever it is, was timed to go off on February 1st and cause a great disaster to the entire world.
Leaps. That's right. I forgot all about that. Well, what date is it today?
January 28th.
The 28th?
Mm-hmm.
Then in only 4 more days...
Yes, Jim. In only 4 more days, disaster strikes. Or the boot takes over, and one is as terrible as the other.
Well, gee whiz, what are we going to do?
There isn't a thing we can do, Jim, unless Freddie recovers in time and tells Robert Archer all he knows. All we can do now is wait and hope.
And so, through the long hours of the night, Clark Kent, Jimmy Olsen, and Robert Archer keep their vigil, praying that the tiny Freddie will recover. Meanwhile, the boot has arrived at a little alpine village which nestles at the foot of a towering snow-covered mountain near the Swiss border. Tall, heavy-shouldered, hawk-faced, his green ice-like eyes smoldering with anger, the boot stands in the public room of the little inn and glowers down at 2 men who sit impassively in chairs near the huge red-hot stove as he berates them.
You are guides, Noel, so it is your business to lead anyone who wishes to go to the top of the mountain. Why will you not take me? Why?
Answer me, you fools have tongues, have you not? Answer me! Why will you not take me? I offer excellent pay. Why will you not take me?
Furiously, the boot screams at the 2 impassive guides who only shrug and look at their hands, making no reply. Suddenly, the boot breaks off his harangue, reaches for the revolver in his pocket. But he pauses as the inn door opens, and a man enters, stamping the snow from his boots. The man is in his 30s and solidly built. For a moment, he brushes the snow from his short beard. Then, as he approaches the small group at the fire, the boot addresses him.
You are a guide?
Oui, monsieur. I am.
Good. I wish you to take me to the top of the mountain now at once.
Now, monsieur?
Yes, right now. These two men have refused to guide me. They are lazy fools.
So, where do you wish to climb the mountain, monsieur?
Why? Because I like to climb, that is why. Why else do you suppose I came here?
I do not know. But it is strange when one who limps as you do wishes to climb a mountain.
I can climb as well as you or anyone else. Come now. Take me to the top of the mountain.
Do not be a fool, Henri.
You be quiet. Henri, is that your name?
Oui, it is.
Well, what are you waiting for? Money? I will pay you well. See, here, look. I will pay you $100 American money to take me to the top of the mountain. That is much more than you ordinarily receive, no?
Oui, it is much more.
Then it is a bargain.
No, monsieur. It is not.
Listen to me, Henri. You must take me to the top of the mountain now, at once. Will you do it for $200?
No, Henri. Do not do it.
Oui. I will take you, monsieur.
Good. Good, let us go.
Very well, monsieur. I will give you climbing boots and fetch my ropes. Then we will go to the top of the mountain. Come, follow me.
Why do you stop now, Henri? We are almost to the top. Lead on.
No. We'll go no further, monsieur.
But why?
Monsieur, are you not he who is known as the boot?
What did you say?
Voila. You are the boot. Your face admits it.
What do you know of the boot?
I know there is no man so evil as he. The great gentleman told me so. His name was Sir Hubert Clay.
So? Go on. Tell me more. When did he tell you this? Why?
Many times. A year ago, I led Sir Hubert to the top of this same mountain. Then it was he told me he labored to bring everlasting peace to the world. When he was here the last time, he said he hoped to return soon and complete his work. But if he failed to return, he said, it would be only if the one called the boot prevented him.
I see. So that is why the guides below refuse to lead me up here, eh?
We recognize you as the boot. We have here our Sir Hubert is murdered, and we believe it is you who did it.
So you brought me up here to kill me, eh?
No, monsieur. I bring you up here, where no one can help you, to make you confess you have killed Sir Hubert Clay. And I will keep you here till you confess. Then I will take you to les gendarmes.
You are a fool to tell me this, Henri. Because now I must shoot you.
No, put away that gun.
Here comes the doctor, Mr. Kent.
Yes. How's Freddie, Doctor?
I'm happy to say he's out of danger, Mr. Kent.
Oh, fine,
gee,
wonderful.
that's
yes,
great.
The little fellow's going to be all right.
Can we see him now, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Mr. Kent. Your friend had a pretty rugged time, you know.
Well, gee whiz, when can we see him?
Perhaps in a day or two.
A day or two?
Yes, you see,
But we've got to see him before that.
We sure do. Why, today is January 29th, and...
I'm sorry,
And
but
in 3 more days, the world might come to an end.
The world might come to an end. What are you talking about, lad?
Well, you see, Doctor, the boot...
Just a minute, Jim. I think I'd better explain. Doctor, we have reason to believe that little Freddie's late master, Sir Hubert Clay, you know,
Yes?
discovered a way to harness and direct the atomic power of the sun.
Really?
Yes. Now, apparently he had arranged to demonstrate this weapon, but he was killed before he could go through with it.
The boot killed him.
Well, he must have set some sort of timing device because on his deathbed he told Freddie that unless he found a former assistant named Robert Archer before February 1st and told him all about the weapon, a terrible disaster would strike the earth on that day.
And that's the day after tomorrow.
Great heavens.
Now, Mr. Archer is right here in the hospital, waiting to learn all about the sun weapon from Freddie. But unless we can get the information very soon, it'll be too late. And either the disaster will strike or...
Or the boot will get control of the weapon.
Yes. As a matter of fact, he may already have it at this moment.
Well, this is incredible, Mr. Kent. If what you tell me is true...
Believe me, it is, Doctor. I've told you all of it so you'll realize how important it is for us to see and talk to Freddie as soon as possible. Because from now on, every minute, every second is of vital importance.
And that's not kidding.
Well, I must say, I'll see the head of the hospital at once, Mr. Kent. It may be possible, although I won't promise, that we can find some means to improve the patient's general condition temporarily so that he may be questioned.
You must do that, Doctor. You must.
Well, I'll see what can be done and report to you in a few minutes.
As Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen wait anxiously for the doctor's report, an amazing scene is taking place thousands of miles away, at the very top of a tall, lonely mountain on the Swiss border. There, the boot, having shot Henri, his guide, and left him lying in the snow, has made his way halfway around the snow-capped peak of the mountain to a man-high crevice in the rock. Then, squeezing his tall body through, the boot enters a circular, rock-walled cave where a timbered glass skylight about 4 feet square illuminates the strange place. In the direct center of the earthen floor, which had been beaten and rolled flat as a table, stands a heavy stone oven about 5 feet high and just as thick. 2 short, sturdy steel legs rise from the massive stone oven to support a large globe of the world, which revolves slowly on its metal axis, with the land masses standing out from the smooth surface in bold relief. From the ceiling, where it is set in a heavy trident of gleaming dark metal set with intricate checks and balances, an infinitely slender, gleaming, silvery rod, about 9 feet long and hardly thicker than a needle, extends downward in such a way that its diamond-pointed end stops just above the slowly revolving globe. And at the present moment, hardly the thickness of a hair separates the sharp diamond point of the rod from the globe. From a mass of dials set in one rock wall, a steady, methodic ticking echoes through the strange cave, and at each tick, a shimmer of dark light seems to run the length of the long, silvery rod and causes it to vibrate. Despite the bitter below-zero temperature outside, the circular room is oppressively warm, and the boot's first action on entering and sizing up the picture with savage delight has been to throw aside his heavy coat. Now, his green, ice-like eyes glowing, he stands before the large globe, crouches to measure the hair-breadth space remaining between the gleaming silvery rod and the slowly revolving globe, and a shudder of great exultation tinged with awe runs through his heavy body. Softly, he speaks to the man, now dead, who created these wonders.
I told you, Sir Hubert, before I snuffed the life from your miserable body, that one day I would possess your secret. And now it is mine to use as I please, to destroy in one great puff of smoke those who dare defy me, and bring the rest of the world to my feet.
For a moment, drunk with the realization of the infinite power in his hands, the boot trembles on the verge of madness. His green, ice-like eyes dance and shine with a wild light. And then, a scraping sound, a halting step behind him causes him to whirl about. He stares, his mouth dropping open in disbelief. Across the room, bracing himself unsteadily against the rock wall, stands a pale, haggard, short-bearded man in mountain boots and mackinaw, one of whose arms, twisted grotesquely, hangs from his side. In the other hand, he clutches the short, double-pronged pickaxe of the mountain climber. He wets his gray lips with his tongue as his eyes, red-rimmed and feverish with great pain, gleam with fierce hate. The boot's voice gasps hoarsely, incredulously.
You? No, it cannot be.
Oui, Monsieur the Boot. It is I.
But it cannot be, I tell you. I kill you. You are dead.
The mistake, Monsieur Boot. Almost you killed me, Henri, but not quite. Now I've come to kill you.
No. Don't move, Henri. I warn you.
It's an empty warning, monsieur. Your pistol, it is in your overcoat there across the room. Take but one step toward it, and I will plunge this pickaxe into your heart.
Listen to me, Henri. I did not mean to shoot you.
You lie, monsieur. You tried to kill me because there is something here you wish to steal. I do not know what it is. But Sir Hubert, whom you have murdered, he has told me you are an evil man. The most evil man in the whole world.
That is not true. Listen to me, Henri. There is not much time. You see this globe of the world and the long rod hanging above it? Well, very soon now, in a few hours, the rod will descend and touch the globe. And when it does, whatever part of the earth it touches will be exploded and destroyed as if 1,000,000 atom bombs had struck it.
What nonsense is this?
It is the truth. Sir Hubert discovered how to control the atomic power generated by the sun. The secret is here in this mountain cave. For all we know, The rod may pierce the globe at this very point where we stand. And if it does, this mountain, all this country, for heaven knows how many thousands of miles around, will be destroyed.
Do you think I am such a fool as to believe that?
You must believe me. I swear it is true. Only permit me to stop the rod.
No. Do not move.
You fool. You will destroy us both.
No, monsieur. I will destroy only you.
No. No, stop. Stop, I said.
Take
you
this,
fool.
you murderer.
Freddie, this is Robert Archer.
How do you do, Freddie?
Are you really Robert Archer?
Yes, I am.
You were formerly the assistant to my late master, Sir Hubert Clay.
That's right.
Oh, dear, if only I could be sure.
Take my word for it, Freddie. This is the real Robert Archer.
Oh, it isn't that I don't believe you, Mr. Kent, but, well, I made one frightful mistake, you know.
I know, Freddie, but the only way we can stop the boot is by letting Mr. Archer hypnotize you so you can reveal to him all Sir Hubert told you.
If I could only be sure he's Robert Archer.
I am Robert Archer, Freddie, believe me.
And I give you my word he is, Freddie.
Very well, Mr. Kent. All right, Mr. Archer. Whenever you're ready.
Atta boy, Freddie.
Fine. Would you leave us alone, please, Mr. Kent?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll be waiting in the lounge.
Good. Now, Freddie, just look steadily into my eyes and listen to me.
Well, Mr. Archer, did it go all right?
Yes, Freddie told me everything, and it's just as I suspected. Sir Hubert Clay did succeed in harnessing the atomic power of the sun.
He did, eh?
Yes, and he created an amazing device to direct the nuclear fission in an unbroken chain reaction to any part of the world he wished.
Yes, but what about
Let me finish, please.
Sorry.
To discourage wars, he had prepared a demonstration for the world's political leaders, in which he was going to demolish a large group of unpopulated islands in the Arctic Sea. But as you know, before he could go through with the demonstration, he was killed by the boot.
Yes, I know that, but...
Sir Hubert must have had a premonition that he was going to be killed. So he told Freddie the location and the manner in which his sun weapon could be controlled.
Oh, thank heaven Freddie was able to tell you all about it in time. Now we can
But wait. He didn't tell me in time.
What?
We're too late, Kent. We're too late.
What do you mean?
This is 11:30 of January 31st. In just half an hour, it'll be February the 1st.
Oh, ridiculous. It's only 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, our time, but it's 11:30 over there.
Over where?
Europe on the Swiss border. And there's no way on earth I could get there in time. So you see...
There is a way to get there on time.
Oh, you're out of your mind, man. It's thousands of miles away. Why, the fastest plane would take a day to get there.
You wait right here. I'll arrange your transportation.
Good heavens.
Hello, Mr. Archer. You ready for a fast trip to the Alps?
Hey, who are you?
I'm Superman.
Superman?
That's right. I understand from Clark Kent there isn't a second to waste. So, up with this window. Now, up with you, Mr. Archer.
But wait.
Hang on. Up and away!
Leaping up from the Metropolis Hospital with Robert Archer in his arms, Superman takes a quick bearing from the sun, then streaks eastward across Metropolis and out over the Atlantic Ocean. Like a star whirling through the heavens, he flashes over the great sea, across England, across France, and hurtles on to where the great range of the Alps mountains shoulders across the continent. For a moment, the Man of Steel slows briefly to question the breathless Robert Archer. Then he streaks onward again, bearing southeast. Suddenly, he sights his destination.
I think I see the cave you described, Mr. Archer. Great Scott, hang on. We're going down.
Look, Superman. That's the boot on the floor, and... merciful heavens, he's dead.
All right, forget about him for the moment, Mr. Archer. We've got to see about...
But this other man, he's still alive.
Good. We'll see about him later. Now, this silvery rod hanging from the ceiling, it's almost touching this rotating globe of the world. Is this
Yes, that rod is the contact point of Sir Hubert's sun weapon. When it touches the globe, the atomic power of the sun will be unleashed on that part of the world.
Great Scott, at the rate it's dropping, it'll touch the globe any instant.
I know.
Did Freddie tell you how to stop this thing?
Yes, he said Sir Hubert's instructions were to turn the fourth dial of this wall panel. But I can't turn it.
Here, wait a minute. Let me do it. Why, it won't turn. Are you sure this is the right dial, Mr. Archer?
Yes, but great heavens. I know why it won't turn.
Why?
Because contact has already been made with the sun.
What?
The full force of the sun is controlling that dial.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's almost midnight of January 31st. We're too late. The rod will reach the globe any minute, and then...
Well, there's only one thing to do, then. Break the rod.
No, Superman, don't touch that rod, or you'll surely blow us and the whole world to kingdom come.
Great Scott! What can we do, then?
I don't know. I'm afraid we're too late to do anything. Perhaps the whole world are doomed, Superman.
Not yet, Mr. Archer. Up with you and this unconscious chap here.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to take you and this wounded fellow, whoever he is, to the village at the bottom of the mountain. Then I'm coming back here to do a job. Up and away! Now, those two out of danger, I can work more freely. First, I'll have another try at this dial. I can't turn it. But I must. If I don't, some part of the world, maybe all of it, will be blown to bits. I got to move it somehow. Despite all the power of the sun that controls it. Because it's almost on the globe. And in another instant, I must stop it. I must. Come on, you turn. Great Scott! I pulled the dial out of the wall. Now what?
Superman wrenches the control dial from the rock wall. A terrific explosion, seeming to start somewhere deep inside the massive concrete oven on which the globe stood, erupts and blows the entire peak of the mountain toward the sky, leaving a great gaping hole where hundreds of tons of rock and soil and snow had been. There's a flashing radiation in the sky as if 1,000,000 Roman candles have been set off. And then the radiation is gone. And except for a vast yawning crater in the mountain where Sir Hubert's cave had been, all is now serene. Superman's titanic strength averted a world disaster. But the Man of Steel himself lies in the valley below the shattered mountain under tons and tons of soil and stone. Motionless he lies, his eyes closed, his red and blue costume scorched and ripped to threads. Long moments go by. Then from the tiny village, Robert Archer and a handful of awe-stricken natives rush into the moonlit valley. But they do not see Superman under the mountain of debris, where he lies hunched. Morning from the tiny village below the decapitated mountain, Robert Archer and Henri, the wounded guide, walk slowly into the valley. Certain that Superman was destroyed in the explosion, Henri carries a wreath of mountain flowers. When he and Archer reach the vast mound of soil and rock and uprooted trees, the guide places his wreath gently at the foot of the mound.
Rest in peace, Superman. He gave his life that we and the rest of mankind could live, Henri.
Oui, Monsieur Archer. He was a great and good man.
Yes, and now he's gone. I can hardly believe it.
It does not seem possible.
Wait.
What is it, monsieur?
Look, Henri, the mound of debris, it's moving.
Sacre nom. What can this be?
Great heavens, look. There's a hand coming out of the mound. And great Scott, Henri, it's Superman.
No, this cannot be.
He's alive. Superman's alive.
It must be with dreams.
Sorry if I startled you, gentlemen.
This is the happiest moment of my life, Superman. I thought you were done for.
Well, so did I, as a matter of fact.
I do not dream. You are really Superman.
In person, Henri. Except for my costume, which looked as if it had gone through a cement mixer, I never felt better.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oui, for this I give thanks to le bon Dieu, monsieur.
So do I, Henri. I'm glad to see you're all right, too. I gather the boot's bullet broke your arm, eh?
Oui, but it was worth the pain now that the evil one is no more. And for him, I do not grieve.
Nor do I. He had it coming to him.
Yes, he certainly did. Now let's forget the boot. We've got to get back to America, Mr. Archer. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. There's nothing left of Sir Hubert's cave or his sun weapon. Did you see enough of it to be able to reconstruct it?
No. Sir Hubert's great secret is gone forever.
That, I think, is for the best.
Yes, Henri, it's probably just as well. Sir Hubert created it in the belief he could frighten the nations of the world into keeping the peace. But it can't be done that way.
The boot showed us that when he almost obtained possession of the weapon.
Yes, true peace can only come when all men want it enough to bury their greed and hate and self-seeking and meet their fellow men in friendship and with understanding.
That's right, Superman.
To that I say amen.
But now we've got to get moving, Mr. Archer.
I'm ready, Superman.
Goodbye, Henri. And good luck.
Au revoir, monsieur. And may le bon Dieu bless you.
Up with you, Mr. Archer.
Goodbye, Henri.
Au revoir, Monsieur Archer. Au revoir.
Up and away!
Leaping up from the little valley with Robert Archer in his arms, Superman pauses in curious flight for a brief moment to wave to the smiling guide and to look once more at the oddly decapitated mountain, the scene of one of his most hazardous and exciting experiences. And then he summons his great strength and rockets away to the west, over plains and cities and rivers, and out over the vast Atlantic, on his way back to Metropolis. The following day, once more in his guise and garb of Clark Kent, the mild-mannered and bespectacled reporter, he is in his office in the Daily Planet writing a follow-up on his great story when the door opens and cub reporter Jimmy Olsen enters with Freddie. The tiny man, although still a bit wan, is beaming and resplendently attired in a new frock coat of emerald green, striped trousers pressed to a razor's edge, and gleaming patent leather shoes. And hung from his arm is a tiny rolled umbrella.
Hi, Mr. Kent.
Hello, Jim.
Look who's here.
Freddie! Well, when did they let you out of the hospital?
Just now. I say, Mr. Kent, it was jolly decent of you to send me this new outfit.
Oh, think nothing of it, Freddie. Do they fit all right?
Oh, perfectly. My other garments were completely ruined in the boot's beastly chimney, you know.
Boy, doesn't he look sharp, though?
He certainly does. Come on, Freddie, let me put you up on my desk and we can get a good look at you.
Very well, old man.
There you are.
Wow, sure looks keen.
Do you think the American audiences will like me?
American audiences? Why do you ask?
Well, he's going back into the circus business.
Oh, yes. I've just signed up to appear with the Great Bartram and Billings Circus, you know.
You have?
Oh, yes, indeed. And I'm to be one of their stellar attractions.
That's so.
Oh, certainly.
You look keen enough.
Why, you know, I've been positively snowed under with offers since yesterday, Mr. Kent. I mean, when your story, crediting me with saving the whole bloomin' world, appeared in the Daily Planet, you know.
Well, that's pretty swell, eh, Jim?
It sure is. Oh, but I'll miss you, Freddie. I was kind of hoping you'd stick around here.
Oh, well, I'll miss you too, old chap, frightfully. But, well, you know how 'tis. Show must go on and all that sort of thing.
Sure, I know.
But the circus plays Metropolis every year, you know. So I'll be seeing both of you chaps then.
Say, that's right.
Oh, we'll be right there in box seats, Freddie. Oh, excuse me a minute.
Oh, that's all right.
Clark Kent speaking.
Mr. Kent, this is Robin.
Robin?
That's right, Batman.
Oh, yes, Robin. Well, what can I do for
Listen,
you?
can you come out to our house right away?
Well, yes, but what's wrong, Robin? You sound rather upset.
I am, Mr. Kent. Something terrible has happened.
Great Scott, what on
I
earth?
can't talk about it on the phone. Can you come out here, please? Right now.
Why, yes, of course.
Hurry, please, Mr. Kent. Hurry.
I'll be there at once, Robin. Just sit tight. What's wrong, Dick? Why are you so upset?
It's Batman, Mr. Kent.
Well, what about Batman?
He's gone.
Gone? What do you mean?
Just what I said. He's gone, I tell you.
But he...
And I'm afraid we'll never see him again.
Startled, Clark Kent stares at young Dick Grayson, who chokes back the tears as he repeats...
We'll never see poor Batman again.
What does Robin mean? What has happened to the great Batman? Fellows and girls, don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode when we begin a brand new and action-packed mystery adventure of Superman with Batman and Robin. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, for Chapter 1 of a new adventure of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.